Wonderful. Good morning, everyone. I'm Wendy Kuchnicki. I'm an independent consultant with Pampered Chef. If you're not familiar with Pampered Chef, we are a direct sales company, and our products are all kinds of kitchen tools to make it easier for you to get a meal on the table. Now, we are not like one of those food service companies. I don't grocery shop for you. You have to do your own grocery shopping, although we do have seasonings, spices, oils, sauces, that kind of thing, again, to help you get a meal on the table. So I started my business about 6 years ago because I love to cook, I love to entertain, and I was looking for some income. I had some very flexible hours, and Pampered Chef has more than exceeded my expectations as far as that's concerned. So that being said, I love to talk about food, and I love to talk about how to help you get a meal on the table. So today we are going to talk about some of those mealtime challenges and how you can overcome them. Okay, so this is going to be very interactive. I want to hear from you guys. So come off of mute, and I want to hear what are some of your challenges to getting a meal on the table at the end of the day.
Deciding what to cook.
Nobody wants to cook. Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea what to make. It's like same things over and over and over again.
Well, I love to cook, and I have a personal trainer 3 times a week, and we talk about nutrition and things that I should be eating. And I almost every day, end up eating chicken with salad.
Oh, right. That mealtime rut. Okay, what else? Why else do we have trouble getting a meal on the table and go to the drive-through?
That one missing ingredient.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, and how to substitute for that. Sure. You can always text me for that, Desiree, by the way. I'm happy to help you with that.
Okay. Thank you.
Anybody
Kids'
else?
busy schedules. Yeah, the
Schedule, yeah,
kids'
time.
busy schedules. Yeah.
Right,
And kids
time.
busy, like they don't all like the same thing.
Good.
There we
Picky
go.
eaters, absolutely. I have food allergies in my house, so that's always challenging as well. And for those of you who are on special diets or whatever, again, that's the same type of challenge where you're not eating whatever. Okay, so here's a few tips for you. Okay, first things first, everybody should know how to cook, at least the basics. Yeah, right, Danelle? So you start with simple things. Don't be intimidated by it. Just start with simple recipes. If you need some help with that, let me know and I can send you some. Same thing if you need some dinner time inspiration, you can always shoot me a message and I'm happy to help you with that. Teach your kids how to cook, because kids who know how to cook will be able to, they'll eat healthier as adults. They will be more fit as adults because they won't feel like they always have to go out for pizza or burger or, constantly eating all that heavy, fatty food. And the more that you do it, the easier it gets. So you want to make mealtime fun. Okay, so again, get your kids involved. Those picky eaters that we talked about before, they are more likely to eat what they cook. So if you get them involved and you say, hey, what kind of seasoning do you want on the chicken? Let them pick it, because and it doesn't matter what it is. Okay, trust me, we've made some gross things in my house. Okay, but let them make what they want to make, because they will try it and they will eat it. And they're still learning how to, put a meal on the table and hone those skills and figure out what they will eat and what they do like. So we went through a phase, everything had ketchup on it, or the kids are only eating 5 things. Pick a night where the kids choose what you're having for dinner instead of you choosing what you're having for dinner. And that kind of takes away that, that need for inspiration as well. Did you know that families who come together at night and the kids sit at the dinner table are 5 times more likely to do better in school? That is a huge statistic. It is so important to come together at the end of the day and make mealtime fun and, whatever it might be, but just a chance to reconnect at the end of the day and figure out what their challenges are, give them a safe place to talk about what's bothering them in school, what do they need help in, celebrate their successes, that kind of thing. One way to get around the picky eater challenge is ask your family every few months what their top 10 favorite foods are, and then try to incorporate those into your recipes. So if 1 month it might be chicken, but then after eating chicken for 3 months, they may be tired of it. And so they're going to turn around and they're like, well, it's going to be beef, or it's going to be whatever, beans or whatever. So could be shrimp or fish too. So, expose them to all different kinds of things, but find out what their top 10 are. You don't have to make them every single night, but from those top 10, you have a good foundation to mix it up and make all different kinds of things. Sorry, turning the page. Oh, and then the last tip that I have is have a DIY night. It could be any night. It could be a Taco Tuesday. It could be a Pizza Friday. And you don't have to make this stuff from scratch. You can get pre-made seasonings or crust mixes or whatever, but you can do a baked potato bar. You can do grain bowls, whether it's rice or quinoa or pasta or any of those, and just have 4 or 5 toppings and let your kids choose which ones that they want. You could even do a salad bar, or do Sunday night charcuterie, where you just put out a big plate. Right, exactly, Janelle. That's so much fun, isn't it? You just have some meat and cheese and some fruit to go with it, some veggie sticks, make some hummus or healthy kind of dip. Again, if you need recipes for any of this stuff, or if you don't know how to do a charcuterie board, let me know. I am more than happy to help you with that. So the bottom line is food is powerful, and the process of sitting down and sharing a meal with your family is one of our foundations. And to make it more enjoyable, more fun, these are just some tips that you can try, and work it in with your lifestyle, your family. I know life gets busy. I have 3 boys. They all did sports, and, things get really chaotic. My pressure cooker is my best friend because I can throw everything in and it stays hot. So if, you're eating with one kid and then 2 hours later, somebody's eating with the other kids, you can work it out that way and everybody still gets a hot meal, and maybe you have leftovers for the next day. Potluck night's another great one. If you have leftovers from 2 or 3 days, just do a potluck bar and let everybody pick the leftovers that they like. So every meal at your table is creating memories with your family. And it's, like I said before, it's an opportunity to reconnect at the end of the day and find out what's going on in everybody's life. Do you guys have any questions?
I do. You mentioned about pressure cooker. I'm from Brazil originally, so I brought my pressure cooker from Brazil 20 some years ago. And I'm afraid that one day it's just not going to work anymore. So do you have that product, or you do? Okay.
Yes. We actually just came out with, it's not just a pressure cooker. It is also a slow cooker, and it's a sous vide machine. So if you're familiar with sous vide, where you have the controlled temperature water bath, and you put your food in a watertight bag and you cook it in there for a couple of hours. That's also another great technique if you are eating in shifts, because your meats and vegetables can sit in that water bath for hours. And when you're ready to eat, you just take it out, sear it in a pan, and you're good to go. So you don't have that time crunch. Dinner's already made because you made it ahead of time.
Mine is an ancient one. It's
yours is the kind that's on the stove
it's
that
vintage.
my mother was afraid of.
Everybody's afraid. When I start cooking, everybody runs away. So I'm interested in find out more. And I would say for everybody, that's the absolutely best tool in the kitchen. You cook a whole chicken in less than 20 minutes in that thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's incredible. Anything. Like it dissolves bones. I do bone broth in the pressure cooker in like 45 minutes. It's absolutely amazing. So
the advantage to pressure cooking too with vegetables is they don't lose all their nutrients and their texture. So your vegetables are not going to be a pile of mush in the bottom of your pot like they are in a slow cooker. So that's huge. You know, if you're having a hard enough time getting your kids to eat vegetables because you want them to have the nutrients, you don't want to ruin all the vitamins in it by cooking it for 10 hours in a slow cooker.
So
Wendy,
a crock pot's the same thing as a slow cooker, right?
Right.
Okay.
Wendy, I
Well,
have a
pressure
question.
cooker, it's magic. You need to try that.
Shirley,
Yeah,
I'll put my
Instant
info in
Pot
the
is awesome.
contact, so in the chat, so we can talk later.
Perfect. Thank you.
Go ahead, Desiree.
Wendy, so my challenge at home is that I try to eat like carb-free meals, but all my kids want are carbs. And so it's like
Yes.
converting spaghetti and meatballs into a carb-free meal without, like I like to make homemade pasta, but the gluten-free kind of pasta and stuff like that, it's just not as easy to make, and it's just such a challenge for me to make them happy and me happy at the same time because of the carb-free part of it.
I will tell you one easy trick that you can do, Desiree, is do you have a spiralizer?
I don't think so. No. Is
Okay,
that
so
for,
I'm
like,
gonna hook you
zucchini
up
or
with a
something?
spiralizer, only because I'm sorry, there is nothing that grosses me out more than buying zoodles in the store, because first of all, you don't know how long those vegetables have been sitting there before
Yes.
somebody decided they were gonna make zoodles out of them. They come sitting in that puddle of water. So that just skeeves me. And they are like 4 times more money than if you were to just buy the zucchini and spiralize it yourself. So if you have a spiralizer, you could still make your sauce and meatballs, but give your kids the pasta and just pour that hot sauce and hot meatballs on top of a bowl of zoodles. You don't even have to cook the zoodles if you put hot sauce on it. If you let it sit for a minute or two, they cook themselves.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. So I'll put my link in the chat and we could definitely
Sure.
connect later and I can hook you up with that.
Awesome. Thank you.
Sure. Anybody else?
This is great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you
one-
guys. I appreciate all the questions and the interaction.
Wendy, one tip I do have for breakfast is I
Mhm.
have an Instant Pot. I don't know if anybody else has one, but I make steel cut oats with like raisins and honey and cinnamon in the morning. And I just make one batch and it
Yeah,
lasts me for like a week. And it takes 4 minutes on high pressure to cook. It's like amazing. So if you guys do have a pressure cooker, if you don't have one, get one. And if you do have one and you don't use it, start using it.
Yeah, you're exact. And that's another great DIY bar that you could do with your family too. And just do it for breakfast or do it on the weekends, because you could put all kinds of toppings out to go with those steel cut oats. And everybody's getting a healthy breakfast. They choose the fruit that they want, or they could have a little bit of honey or, some like raisins or cranberries or whatever. You could throw that in there. So that's a brilliant idea. Thanks for bringing that up.